The video wall is a nice touch. That one was my idea. It alternates between running music videos, game promos, and high score leaderboards. That's cool. We also repainted and did a general update on all the appliances and fixtures to give it a more finished feel and less of a retired pizza place turned arcade vibe. As for Gavin's theory about structuring our redemption games to have more generous and player-friendly payouts, he's confident in his numbers, and I'm confident in his confidence. Yeah, Gavin, he'll pull through. There's no reason these games have to be carny scams. With the right balance, we can provide fun and reward the player at the same time. Of course, this means riding a razor's edge of math, but we can do it. Juniper and Ashley really nailed our grand experiment into unique branding. It's completely on point. By spearheading our advertising campaign, the buzz is building. See, that's exactly what we needed. We need to get butts in here so that our business can thrive, like hit the ground running. Our hype train is pulling in passengers of all sorts, and the imagery they've created will ride with them long after they've left. Definitely the right call to make. All of my decisions, all of my choices made Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo what it is. So much labor and love went into the project from all of us, and now all that's left is to officially open these doors. But before that fateful hour begins, I still want to do one last check on operations, just in case. The restaurant side of this equation proved to be very complicated. I'd go cross-eyed trying to parse the numbers of that side of the business. Hopefully it wouldn't drive us to the bankruptcy, or the arcade wouldn't bankrupt the restaurant, or both at the same time. Hark! The great Hazma senses concern from his business partner.
Perfection.
Rest assured, Hawk Angel, that Hazma has seen to all that requires seeing to. Our delicacies shall ring true across taste buds across the city. I'm not sure I would consider burgers and buffalo wings as delicacies. Hazma is aware we shall never earn 5 stars with our cuisine, but we shall be the pinnacle of deep-fried foodstuffs. Today, Hamza will oversee prep operations. Beyond this opening day, I leave you in the hands of my capable chefs and waitstaff. But you'll be in touch, right? I'd hate to have you jet off to, like, Istanbul, not Constantinople. Yes, Istanbul, and it's Constantinople. It's a long time gone. It's Constantinople, and it's Constantinople get the works. That's nobody's business like the Turks. Doot, 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 doot. And suddenly, everything's on fire. No matter what corner of the globe Hamza's travels take him to, he can be summoned at the speed of light. Well, at the speed of air travel, really. And now, back to my kitchen. Our glorious future together in business awaits. Hamza claps twice before leaving in a flourish. I love him. Okay, being partners with Hamza is going to take some getting used to, but I love it. Running to a restaurant and an arcade is riskier than I thought it'd be, but for all his quirkiness, he knows business, right? He's rich. Rich people are smart, right? After my quick check-in, I notice the clock. It's unforgiving hands telling me that it's not long now. See, everything's going perfectly. No detail overlooked, just according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan. I'm proud of everything we've accomplished. When those doors open and all our regulars come back to play, when new folks drawn by our advertising wander in, it'll all click. I allow myself a smile, pleased with our progress. Today is going to be a great day, the first day of our new dream. It'll be wonderful. As long as no unforeseen problems pop up. Beep beep, Park. Hearing Iris's muffled voice, I pull my phone out of my pocket and check in with her. What's up, Iris? Okay, so I'm getting some unusual pings around your social media. Someone trying really hard to get in touch with you. You said you didn't want to be bothered today, but, well, I think you should probably respond to this one. We're about to launch the grand opening of Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo, Iris. Someone sliding into my DMs is really not my concern right now. It's Percy's mother. Percy's mother! She really, really wants to get in touch with you. Huh. Percy never really talked much about his parents, mostly about his sister. I was assuming we'd do the whole meet the folks routine once we were farther along in our relationship. But if she found out about the arcade through Percy and wants to offer well wishes, that could be a great emotional booster right now. How about I patch a call through you? I guess I have a few minutes to spare before the opening. Go ahead. Iris makes the arrangements for me, granting friendship status, opening Messenger, setting up the cross-continental voiceover IP call, all that techie junk. Soon, a harried voice comes over the speaker. Hello, is this Mr. Angel? Percy's new boyfriend? Yeah, that's me. You can just call me Hark. It's good to meet you, Mr. Sinclair. Mrs. Sinclair. Is Percy with you right now? Well, he said he'd arrive a bit before we open, but no, he's not here yet. You need to talk him out of doing this, please. Sinking feeling commencing. I'm sorry, talk him out of doing what? I know he'll be very cross with me for this, but I didn't know anyone else he'd listen to. He won't even take our calls ever since we had a row last night. And as she continues to explain, that feeling sinks deeper, only to rise sharply and sink again, a roller coaster of discomfort. And like that, all my concerns about Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo fall away. I've got a much deeper problem to deal with, now that I know this little bit of insider information. What's the insider information? As much as it'll hurt Percy, I need to talk with him about what his mom just told me. The door swings open a few minutes later, just as I'm ending my phone call.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Opening day, at last. How thrilling. It's even got the new arcade smell. Percy happily strolls to the arcade, a smile beaming from ear to ear. I'd love to share in his enthusiasm, but with the news I just received, all I can do is look anxious. Hark? Is something amiss? Difficulty at the restaurant, perhaps? Hopefully not a grease fire or anything of the sort? I know I'm about to officially open Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo, but this is way more important. We need to talk. She told you, didn't she? Is there any way to make this easier, or should I just dive right in? Percy, why didn't you feel like you could tell me? Come on now, you should have told me about this. I'd rather hear it in your own words. I love how the game is like, not telling us yet what it is. They're just really milking this for all it's worth. Percy, why didn't you feel like you could tell me? I feel hurt, Percy. I would have rather heard about this from you than from your mother. And she feels hurt too. She sounded so desperate. Yes, well, it's not really anyone's business, is it? I'm not saying I have a right to pry, but I thought we put our trust in each other. Why couldn't you trust me with this? It was not my intent to hurt anyone, love. Except yourself. I didn't want to get anyone's hopes up. Experimental? I was hoping it was something like that. I was hoping it was something along those lines. Not that I'm holding my breath and depending on it, banking on it. Because 100%, I am going to be with Percy regardless. Committed to Percy no matter what. But if this is a glimmer of hope, I think we should take it. Experimental clinics trials aren't exactly a cure, not as such. Odds are nothing would come of this, even if I agreed to it. That's a lie. According to what you told me, your doctor said there's a high likelihood of success. You'd survive and your heart wouldn't be a threat to you any longer. I suppose doctor-patient confidentiality doesn't quite hold up to Mum's gossiping then. Don't blame this on her. She talked, I listened, I chose to listen. Yes, you chose to listen to something that's really none of your bother. I'm disappointed, Hawk, I must say. How is this none of my bother? It's your life on the line. And now that we're together, that's kind of my business. Your life is kind of my business now that we're actually in a relationship. My life to do with as I please. And it pleases you to die? Is that it? Percy, you could live. We could be alive together, but only if you agree to try the new treatments. Why didn't you want to try? I'm sure I could dig up some statistics if that's what you need to convince you that this is not so simple. Not really worth bothering with at all, really. I've done enough stock market investments to know when not to put my faith in some silly miracle. You want predictable, reasonable outcomes from predictable, reasonable actions. Why taking part in the treatments has a slim chance to hasten me along to my end. So why risk it? I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Why doesn't he want this? I kind of get it, I kind of get it. He kind of wants to bring things. He's accepted the fact that he's going to die in a couple of years. He's accepted it. So he's like, why do I want to bother bringing my hopes up if I'm already at peace? If he's already at peace that he's going to die in 2 years, why bother? But I mean, I feel like it's worth I feel like it's worth the risk to try. It's not my life, it's his life. Ultimately, it is his decision. It is ultimately his decision, but I just feel like I would love to discuss it. As his boyfriend, I'd like to discuss it at least. Because it does affect me too. it's my boyfriend. It affects me too. So, I'm allowed to be a little selfish when it comes to my boyfriend's life. I'm allowed to be a little selfish. Is it because you've accepted the end and actually want it? You'd rather listen to the stats than common sense? You don't want to believe in this cure? You've accepted the end and actually you'd rather listen to stats and common sense? You don't want to believe in this cure? You've accepted the end and actually want it? Percy, you've lived under the gun for so long. It's all you know. You don't want to even try to get your hopes up. Or, no, you actually want to die. You're happy to passively accept your fate. Is that true? I expect him to immediately protest that, pointing out how absurd it sounded. But he doesn't. It's true, isn't it? Some part of you wants this dead end road you're on. Why, Percy? Why aren't you willing to live? He gives up, all defenses effortlessly dismantled, and confesses.
Don't deserve it.
Smack this guy across the back of his head. I'm just gonna, smack him at the back of the head. You... What?
It's not right. It's not fair that I get to live when she had to die.
Then you should live for her. All the more reason for you to survive and live for her. You already told me that you wanted to get this score for her. You wanted to earn the top score in Moopy for her. Why can't you then just live for her? Just live for her, All because of bad timing, all because we were just a little too late for the doctors to develop a new treatment. A roll of the dice, luck of the draw. Moopy isn't actually random, It was Stella who realized it at first. Her genius was unmatched. I'm still using her techniques when I chase my high scores. You can trick the game into providing exactly the maze you want, if you make the right moves. It's a puzzle, a problem to be solved. There's no fickle fate to it at all. I mean, these doctors also see this treatment as a puzzle, as a problem to be solved.
Life? Life is fickle, is it not?
Yeah, that is true.
My sister dies. I get to live. All because of a little toss of the dice.
But how is that... logically, we all can argue logically why there's some problems with what he's saying. But I get it. In his head, in his mind, he's not thinking logically.
I don't. I simply don't deserve to live. Not if she had to die. If I undergo the clinical trial, if I emerge right as rain, well, it soils her memory.
What do you mean it soils her memory? What do you mean it soils her memory? How about all the people who died of COVID? Does that, does that mean you shouldn't, try to take the vaccine because a family member of yours died of COVID? Again, it's all logical, but I get it. In Percy's head, he can't think logically about this.
That's why I didn't tell you. Shouldn't have told Mum either. Nobody had to know. Could have been my little secret.
No, I can't just let this go. I love him too much to let him slip away over this without even trying. So you're just giving up? I didn't think you were a quitter. And what about your world record? Percy, is this what your sister would want you to do? You think she'd want you to die? I know this is your decision to make, but please reconsider. Percy, ask yourself one simple question. Would your sister Stella want you to die just because she had to die? That's not what she'd want. She'd want you to be happy. If she heard there was a cure, she'd want you to take it. Yes, well, she's not exactly here to say that, is she? Doesn't matter. No, because I got lucky and she didn't, and I don't feel right taking advantage of that good fortune, regardless of how she may or may not have felt about it. Think about it this way, Percy. You're a very generous person. You give to charities all the time, okay? You give to charities for I think he said he gave to charities for medical things, for experimental medical things. Do you know what that money gets used for? It gets used to try these experimental medicine on people like yourself. That's how they get cures. That's how they help other people. If you want to help the next Stella, if you want to help the next sister or brother or mother or father or loved one from having the same fate as your sister, then the best thing you can do is to take on these trials, because that could very well unlock what the doctors need to prevent this from happening to other Stellas and other sisters. That's what I would say to Percy right now. Like, this is what you can do to honor Stella's memory, is to actively participate. This is an amazing opportunity to actively participating in the things that you personally have been investing in your charities. This is something you actually are actively doing in your charities, and you have this rare chance to be not just a contributor financially, but I mean, you'll be able to contribute to the actual research and then possibly, maybe possibly, be cured. It's a very possible win-win situation. Look, can we just pretend you never heard this? You've got an arcade to open. This needs to be a happy occasion. This is exactly like, this is what I wish I could say what I just said to him, because I think that would get through to him. Please, Percy. Please. I didn't even get to that. Ashley, I didn't even get to see history. Percy, please hear me out, okay? Do that for me. I just want you to know that. Okay, Percy, please hear me out, okay? Do that for me. I just want you to know that. Okay. It's time! Neither of us say anything to each other as interrupting Ashley continues on, oblivious on the sour mood. I hope I'm not interrupting anything romantic. But look at the crowd out there. It's so big. It's 10 on the dot and time to open the doors. But I figured you'd want to do it, right? You'd want to do it, right, Hark? Something wrong? Percy? Hark? I had completely lost track of time. We were only moments before officially opening, but... Well, suppose I'll sample the food before Moopy begins, I suppose. Percy? Another time, perhaps. You've an arcade to run, love. Let's not let our customers down. But... Aw, jeez, I did interrupt something important, didn't I? I'll just... go over here and do things somewhere else. I mean, she needed to interrupt us so that we remembered to do the grand opening for the people. There's the Moopy's maze game. I can't handle this right now. As much as I want to stop everything and sort through this mess, I've got a job to do today. It's not like he's going to die today, presumably. I'll take time to talk to him out of it later. I need to at least try to put this turmoil behind me so I can focus on my first day of Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo with a smile. Despite reeling from that incident just now, I'm ready to do this because I have to be ready. No choice. I've got big plans for the opening ceremony. I'm going to open the doors, give my prepared speech to the gathered masses, and stay on hand to greet gamers as they enter. Stepping on the forefront, I grasp the door handles and throw the gates to Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo wide. Behold, gamers, I give you Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo. Electric Boogaloo is now open for business. Welcome, friends. Welcome to Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo. This is a family establishment, so I'm going friendly. Welcome. Welcome to all of you. I hope that... Whoa. Nice. Nice. I don't even have time to finish one line of my big dramatic speech. The crowd spills through the doors and runs right past me, eager to get to the games. That's a good problem to have. Immediately, the arcade fills with sounds of beeps and boops, games starting up, and people laughing with delight as they find their favorites. Well, there goes my entire opening ceremony plans out the window. I had all sorts of stuff planned, but if folks want to just get to gaming, who might argue? After a few minutes of final checks around the place, I decided to move into Phase 2, meet and greets around the arcade. I walked the arcade like I did in my floor attendant days, talking with folks and making sure everything's running smoothly. Although I could probably track down Percy too, assuming he wants to talk yet, which may not be the case. Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo is my domain. Open to my exploration. Where should I visit first? Gavin and Percy are hanging out in the restaurant. Naomi's fixing Teo's dance game, which seems to have crashed. Queen Bee and Ashley are talking with some arcade newbie. I'm going to Gavin and Percy. Percy is my main priority right now. Oh my gosh, look at this restaurant. This is so cool. Good job, virtual me. Seeing as we decided to open the new arcade and restaurant in time for the lunch rush, it's difficult to spot Gavin and Percy in the crowd. But I managed to find them, having sandwiches and chatting. Tanked. Completely tanked.
Much obliged.
I'm glad for your little tip. I was ready to invest a good chunk of my pocketbook in that company. All my hard work would have tanked right alongside it. This is par for the course when my siblings snatch up technology companies. It's a pump and dump, in essence. They stir up excitement and acquisition, then drop it once it goes cold. I've never seen one of their endeavors bear fruit for very long, thanks to their short attention spans. I'm glad I could save you the heartache. No offense. I think I can handle a few accidental heart-related puns without going into cardiac arrest, my good fellow. But it's good to avoid a pothole in the road to finance, yes? All the better for the charities who will eventually profit from my own loss. Hey, Percy? From the extended hum of his greetings, I suspect he's subtly warning me not to talk about his health issues, or potential solution thereof, in front of Gavin. I was hoping to catch him alone, but there'll be time later, I assume, unless he's hiding from the issue by hanging out around other people all day, which is totally unfair. So, stock market talk.
Ah, indeed.
Indeed, I'd like to do my trades in the mornings before I come to the arcade. Get all the bother over it so I can focus on Moopy. Afraid we're being astoundingly boring at the moment, Hark. Just two overly serious gentlemen talking about finance. That's fine. I'm adulting at 110% efficiency today, having started a new business myself. I should probably learn about work, how, money works. Oh, what would you like to know about? Investments. How do I plan for the arcade's future? Expenses. I want to throw a kick-A party tonight to celebrate. Taxes. I've never had to file for a business before. Investments. How do I... This is big on me. Big on me. Gotta plan for the future. How do I plan for the arcade's future? I'd like to invest in our future. Think long-term, surviving for many years to come rather than jumping at the easiest profit I can. Any tips? Fine view to take. My own investments are preferably long-term, yes. I make moment-to-moment trades, but they're backed by the stability of stock bedrock. Even after I'm gone, I expect many of those to cash out gradually, and I've had a phalanx of lawyers to carry out my wishes over the next, 30 years. Except if he'd listened to his doctor, he could handle that himself. Gavin, how about I show you my portfolio? Give you some ideas for how to build up a nest egg for Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Thank you.
I'd be honored. I'll let you two handle the fine details. The two sink deeper and deeper into conversation about currency exchanges, fiscal policy, tax rate changes, and I start to lose consciousness. I admire their passion, but there's only so much adulting I can handle in one day, and I need to reserve some for later. It's then that I noticed raised voices at a nearby table. It's not really an altercation or an incident yet, but they are talking a bit louder than others. Miss, I've run your credit card twice, and it was declined twice. Run it again, I'm telling you. It was working just fine earlier. I got tokens using it, see? See these tokens? Sensing an opportunity to provide excellent customer service and further prove my adulting chops, I step in to help. Hello, good morning. I'm the manager here. Can I be of some assistance? She looks awfully familiar. Have we met before? Oh right, I invited her to check out my arcade, didn't I? Guess that's why she's here.
What's up?
Hey, good to see you. Love what you've done with this place. Just love it. But something's wrong with your credit card readers. My card's legit. I was using it earlier with no issues, but now it's all messed up and stuff. Can you help me? I can pay cash if I gotta. I'm not trying to duck and run on you, but I'd really prefer to use the card. Sure, we'll try to run your card one more time. You know what? It's on the house, with our thanks. Iris, can you help her out with this issue? Iris. Fortunately, I happen to have an expert in all things digital in my employ. She can clear up your credit card problem nice and quick. Oh, Iris? Sure thing. Miss, can you please swipe your card across my screen? This takes the customer by surprise. She hesitates briefly before doing as asked. Right, you have an Iris. I remember that. Now processing. Please enjoy this recorded music. Huh. That's odd. It says your card was declined. Cancelled even.
No helping it.
I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding, but whatever. I've got cash. Plenty of cash. It's no problem at all. I'll take care of this myself. Thanks for trying. She quickly goes about her business, using a fistful of ones and various bits of change to pay her way through. Seemed a little eager to get out of here, actually. That's odd. Really odd. Is she a spy? I'm wondering if she's a spy. I might need to keep an eye on that one. With that, that's interesting. That is kind of interesting. With that matter settled, it's back to wandering the arcade. Where to next? Naomi's fixing Teo's dance game, which seems to have crashed. Queen Bee and Ashley are talking with some arcade newbie. Naomi and Teo. Most of the time I'm drawn to Showtime stage because of the flashing lights and the hip beats, not because it's completely silent. No music at all. As I approach, I see Naomi feverishly working to fix it. Seeing the whole thing without tunes, synced to its flashy lighting rig is kind of depressing. And listening to Naomi mutter as she works, she undoubtedly feels the same way. This was working fine earlier. Why isn't it working now? Ooh. Fortunately, Teo is proving surprisingly knowledgeable about the inner workings of his favorite game. You may need to reimage the hard drive. I know some gray area websites where we can get a replacement copy of the files, if needed. This is the third release version of Showtime Stage's software, right? Those are easier to come by than the more modern fourth version, oddly enough. The files aren't the problem. I think the hard drive itself was damaged in shipping. And if so, well, you might not be able to dance at all today. I'd have to order a new part. I'm sorry, there were just so many gamers to get up and running. There were just so many games to get up and running, and I must have missed this ticking time bomb of a hardware failure. Hey, it's cool! I don't need to get my groove on all the time. Showtime Stage is one of our flagship games. It's flashy, it's exciting, and Teo's dance moves bring the crowd in. Getting it working for opening day is a priority. Teo, do you have any sources for Showtime Stage hard drives? Naomi, can we pull a hard drive from a different game and reformat it? Can we roll out a different game to replace it temporarily? Teo, do you know any sources for Showtime Stage hard drives? If you know where we can get the files discreetly, what about the physical drive? Teo, do you know where we could, pilfer one? As a Showtime Stage community manager, of course. I cannot advocate third-party mods and official Showtime Stage hardware. But I could probably hook you up with a few friends in town who could develop their own homebrew replacement hardware. I bet I could wrangle up something that'll keep us rolling for a few days while Naomi orders a true replacement part from corporate HQ in Japan. Yeah. That'd work. I bet I could doctor it to look official too, just in case. I'll make some calls. You can count on me. We'll have this running in an hour or two. So, it'll take a bit of time, but we'll get our stage back in something in working order. Good. Maybe we'll get through this opening day without any major problems, aside from this. Before I go, I spot a gamer who's been watching, super curious about what's going on. These are all spies. Hey, is Showtime Stage really hosed? For now, yes. But we'll have it fixed up as soon as we can. Did he have something? Is Deku sending spies to sabotage us? Oh man, I want to get my groove on. That's a bummer. I'm laughing at digging his outfit though. I might know a guy who knows a guy who can get your replacement super cheap. Which probably has a bug from Deco. Or like any game you want. Anything, as long as don't ask too many questions. Thanks for your generous offer, but we're fine. I'm getting the feeling I'd be asking a lot of questions. By super cheap, do you mean fence goods? Thanks for the generous offer, but we're fine. No reason to be mean, or to lampshade what's likely meant to be an open invitation to do some crimes. I'm happy to see your enthusiasm for Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo, but I think we can handle this. Sorry you can't play your favorite game right now, but it'll be fixed soon. The gamer shrugs it off, not too offended. So cool. I just figured I'd offer. I dig this place. It's got a little bit of everything I like. I'll just come back later to wow all the ladies with my hot style. Later. That was odd. But as he fades back into the crowd, I decide to move on. Where should I visit next? Queen Bee and Ashley are talking with some arcade newbie. Near the center of the arcade, Ashley's showing off her new cosplay to Queen Bee. That is cute. A cutie sailor. Wow, just wow. She's been keeping it a total surprise from all of us, working in secret on it. Impressive stuff. It seems to have attracted the attention of a brand new customer at least. I think I remember them from Deco's Palace, when I was getting some fries and someone was hogging the bartender's attention. Hey, look kid, a real-life, in-the-wild newbie. Welcome to Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo. We're so happy to have you join us for the opening day.